This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Intense summer weather in Texas has led to strain on its power grid. Susan Freakio reports temperatures have climbed above 100 degrees this month, and Texas energy companies are warning customers of rolling blackouts. They're asking customers to conserve energy by raising their thermostat settings, cutting back on dishwasher and washing machine use, and limiting electric vehicle charging. Energy Texas, one of 150 retail electricity providers in the state, blamed the issues on triple-digit temperatures and low wind generation. Depressed wind speeds this month cut output to less than 10% of the state's wind-generating capacity, officials at the U.S. Energy Information Administration told Susan. Solar-generated power has helped make up for some of the deficit, but not enough to stave off the threat of outages when coupled with the record-high demand during the heat wave. Estimates underscore the depth of damage to Russia's military nearly 5 months into its invasion of Ukraine. Ben Wolfgang reports the staggering number of casualties and the equipment and vehicles that have been lost have left the Russian army severely degraded, even as it makes slow gains in Ukraine's eastern Donbas region. That doesn't count the costs back home. Despite strong energy export revenue, the Russian economy may shrink by 1/10 this year. Additionally, Russian banks, universities, and sports teams are cut off from the international arena, and sanctions have led Western suppliers to cut off key commodities and Western retailers to shutter their Russian operations. The January 6th committee's hearings have colored jury selection for former Trump aide Steve Bannon's contempt of Congress trial. Out of dozens of potential jurors interviewed in the courtroom, Joseph Clark reports roughly 3 said they weren't aware of the committee. Potential jurors were screened by questionnaire before they were brought before U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols for clarifying questions by the prosecution and defense. Bannon faces 2 counts of criminal contempt of Congress for defying the committee's demands that he produce records and appear for a deposition. He has pled not guilty and could spend up to 2 years in prison if convicted. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. 5 of the 6 states directly affected by the Supreme Court's ruling striking down subjective standards for concealed carry permits have curtailed their laws, but New York has doubled down. Alex Warrior reports a new law, which will take effect in September, eliminates a requirement to demonstrate a special need to obtain a license to carry. In its place, the state has issued a lengthy list of locations where guns are banned. It requires any private building to disclose whether an individual may carry a gun inside. Without permission from an owner, a gun holder could risk criminal prosecution for carrying a firearm inside of a private establishment. That's come into more focus after another mass shooting, Valerie Richardson reports, this time in Indiana. At least 3 people were killed and 2 others wounded when a shooter targeted a food court at a shopping mall in Greenwood, south of Indianapolis. Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen said 22-year-old Elisha Dickin fatally shot the suspect less than 2 minutes after the gunfire started. Police say Dickin did not appear to have a permit, but was carrying legally under a constitutional carry law, which was passed in March and went into effect July 1st. The Indiana law eliminated the permit requirement for legal owners to bring their handguns in public. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.